There is one skill that separates a great dungeon master from a good one. It's their ability to improvise. Games never go the way we expect. Players will fall in love with a random shopkeeper and ignore main story NPCs. They will fight the town's guard and negotiate with the bandits you expected them to kill. The best GMs manage to organically respond to their players' actions and build the story around their choices. Becoming great at improvisation isn't something that happens overnight, but starting on the path to mastery is something you can do right now with these 4 principles I've gathered over more than 2 decades of DMing. Prep your session with improvisation in mind. Don't write out rigid plots that your players are supposed to follow. Dungeons & Dragons is a cooperative storytelling game. It's not a novel or a play. Build everything with modularity in mind. Scenes should be easy to rearrange, modify, or completely discard. Important clues that drive the story forward should be abstract. They should be accessible from multiple sources. Your combat encounters should be mechanically balanced to challenge the players, but be prepared to reskin them to fit the narrative that emerges at the table. If you feel the session's pacing requires a fight, throw one at the party right now. The way you describe the enemies might change. Instead of orc raiders, maybe you have a bunch of undead, or the guards of the keep. Your players will be equally happy with either, as long as it fits the narrative you develop during the session. Always keep a list with some NPC names that fit the setting. Before the session, add a portrait to each to really make them feel real. This way, the players will never suspect you completely improvised an entire NPC. Don't plan a rigid story arc for your entire campaign. Many DMs plan their entire campaigns the same way they would a movie or a TV show. I believe this is the weakest point of many published adventures. When you run a published adventure, you feel forced to railroad your players. This is often the only way you can move them from one chapter to the next. Instead, build your story arc from the bottom up. Let your campaign's plot organically emerge from the players' choices and their preferences. I usually focus my entire prep only on the next session and only have vague plans from where to go from there. This way, I don't have to make the hard choice between railroading my players and throwing away many hours of work. Let your players completely loose in every scene you present them. There is an old GM saying, you should design the puzzle and not the solution. It's great advice for making puzzles and skill challenges, but the reality is that it should also apply to every scene in your game. Don't force the players to interact with the situations you present to them in a specific way. If your players want to negotiate instead of fight, let them. If they'd rather confront someone they were meant to ally with, let them. The essence of D&D lies in player agency. Be open to unforeseen player decisions and different solutions than the one you expected. Your willingness to adapt to these surprises will teach the players that they are truly free. This will invite ever-growing levels of creative problem solving and surprising plot developments. Your players will learn that each of their choices truly matters in the game. This will create a lot of fun memories for everyone around the table. And here's a bonus tip. Learn to let go. Let go of your expectations for the game. Let go of what you prepared if the players choose a different path. Do your best to accommodate them, and your improv skills will never stop growing. An extremely powerful tool for improvisation is the use of abstract secrets and clues. Learn more about them in this video.